Do you keep a tenant that is not paying rent? It depends on you. The work helps me find my truth. It does not tell me what to do. This is a big thing that confuses a lot of people. They think, oh, I'm going to do the work and get told what to do. That's not how it works. The work helps me find my truth. Sometimes the stressful situations that I bring to the work involve making some kind of decision. I'm confused and I don't know what to do, and I feel stressed, so I bring it to the work. Doing the work helps me take responsibility for my own happiness, no matter what situation I find myself in. It helps me question my beliefs and misunderstandings, and often I find new options in situations that seemed impossible. But just because I find a turnaround when doing the work doesn't mean that I'm obligated to follow it. All I'm looking for in doing the work is my truth, and I can recognize my deepest truth by the way it makes my internal conflict go away. So, when making decisions, the work can support you, but it's not going to make your decision for you. Here's an example. Someone was recently doing the work on her adult daughter who was living at home with an agreement to pay rent, but she wasn't paying it. The statement from this person's Judge Your Neighbor worksheet was, she should pay me rent. And when she got to the turnaround to the opposite, she should not pay me rent, she found some examples. But she did not feel so peaceful about the turnaround because she still felt strongly that her daughter should pay the rent. It could be that there were more examples for the turnaround waiting to be found, or it could be that both the turnaround and the original statement are true. This is important to keep in mind. A turnaround is just one side of it. The original statement that she should pay rent can still make sense, even if there's truth in the turnaround that she should not pay rent. In this case, there may be a balance of opposites. And so I find this a lot. Turnarounds show one side of the story, the original statement shows the other side of the story, and these are kind of a coexistence of opposites. And that can be an interesting thing to look at. The only way you can comprehend it is to expand your mind to be able to encompass both sides. So, for example, the turnaround, she should not pay me rent, could be about why it's understandable that she doesn't pay rent. So that's one side of it. It's a chance for me to put myself in her shoes. Maybe she's not making enough money. Maybe she doesn't know how to budget. Maybe the agreement was never clear to her. Or maybe she has resistance to paying something she never had to pay before. Or maybe she just doesn't want to. All of this can give more understanding and compassion for her. But it doesn't mean that I have to become a doormat because of this newfound compassion. Compassion and being clear and honest and strong with myself can coexist. I may still find the truth. I may still find truth in the idea that she should pay rent. That may be just my truth. And this is an invitation for me to expand my mind to see if I can hold both sides. Can I hold she should pay rent and I get it why she doesn't? If I do, then I'm going to be in a compassionate place, but I'm also not going to throw myself under the bus. I might agree with the turnaround. I might see that it is completely her business what she does. I can see that I can't control her. That's a really important thing to see. But I can also be clear that it's completely my business what I do. So I'm getting clear through this work what's her business, what's my business. Her business is whether she pays rent or not. I can't control that. My business is whether I keep her as a tenant or not. That's my business. So if I don't want her living here rent-free, then it's a simple conversation about how rent-free doesn't work for me. And it's not about her at all. I stay in my business. And she's free to move somewhere else or to pay the rent. It's her choice. I'm no longer wanting to control her. So that's the key point here. Once I stop trying to control her, once I step out of her business, step clearly into mine, then there's really not an issue. Either she's going to leave because she doesn't want to pay rent, or she's going to decide to pay rent, and either way is fine. So I'm just honoring my truth and respecting whatever she does with it. It's only about my truth. If, on the other hand, my truth is that having her stay is actually more important to me than having her pay rent, or if I prefer not to charge rent to family members, say, maybe that's an exception to my overall rule about paying rent, then I can go the other way with my actions by honoring that truth. This is completely up to me. So the key is looking in and finding out what's important to me. Maybe paying rent is the most important thing for me, and I need to stand up for that. I need to be honest with that, and I need to let her know so that she can make her decision. But maybe having her there is the most important thing for me. And so I need to be honest with that and stand up for that and get clear on that. And if that's the case, then understand that rent may not be the result of that. Once I understand the turnaround, she should not pay me rent, I am no longer fighting with reality. I get it. I may be easy, or I may be firm, or I may work out some kind of compromise, but in that space, even an eviction can come from a place of love and understanding. All the work does is help me step back into my business and take responsibility for my part instead of feeling victimized by how the other person should be different than they are. Once I do that, I'm often freer to act according to what feels best for me. When I don't do that, what happens is I'm putting the responsibility on the other person. I'm waiting for her to somehow get it and save me from having to actually do my own investigation and find out what's actually true for me. Once I do that, it's very easy to come out and say, you know what? Rent's not important. What's important for me is having you here. Or go inside and find out rent is really important. That's what I'm going to stand up for. Here's my offer. Either pay rent or we'll have to ask you to leave. So this is what freedom looks like, and it comes from doing the work on this stressful situation. So I'll end with a quote from Byron Katie from her book, I Need Your Love, Is It True? I'm the only one responsible for my life, for my health, my feelings, and my happiness. When my neediness died away, what was left was love.